Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and today I'm going to give y'all a finance update for the month of May 2025. Happy June. I hope you've all had an amazing month of May. May for me was kind of bad as far as spending goes, but looking at my numbers overall, my net worth, and just like my investments, all of that, things are looking pretty good. So let me first give you an update on the goals that I set for the month of June. I didn't really set any specific goals. I said that I wanted to make $10,000 in income from my business. I actually was close to that. I think I made the most amount of money in the month of May ever in business. I made over $9,700. I'll give you that specific figure in just a moment. Also, I'm going to be giving a breakdown of those earnings in a YouTube short. So I know that lately this year I've been doing my income reports within these videos, but I'm going to turn those into YouTube shorts. So those will be up shortly. I'll have them linked below once they are up. But yeah, I was close to 10K for the month. Now for the quarter, I would like to make at least $30,000 for my business. I would need to still earn like 15K in the month of June. Not completely impossible, but I don't know if that's realistic right now. But I'm still pretty happy that I'm close to 10K, and this is a big difference compared to last May, that's when I quit my job, and I only made like $2,800 in the month. Like it was kind of shocking to make the lowest amount of money right after quitting my job. So 1 year later, I think I've had my highest earning month ever in business. I also did reach my Roth IRA goal, so contributing at least $555 per month. I did more than that, so we'll talk about that. And then my net worth is over $125,000 finally. And this is really up to the market. So we saw the market increase again. So my investments went up. I think my savings went down, but we'll see all of those numbers. But because of the market, my net worth is finally over $125,000. I've set that goal for like 3 quarters in a row now, and I think I'll finally get to say I achieved that Q2 of 2025, as long as nothing changes. I'm gonna go ahead and hop to my spreadsheets. If you are interested in these spreadsheets, you can get them for free. They will be linked down below. You will have to enter your name, your email, and then once you get that, you'll be prompted to make a copy of the sheet, and you can edit this as you please. So starting with the business side of things, gross business revenue, I was expecting at least $4,000, but that actually was $9,788.18. Like I said, the largest amount I think I've ever received or ever earned in a month from my business alone. What ended up happening is I got paid out from a sponsor earlier than I expected. So if you watched my June budget video, I mentioned that I was going to be making like at least $7,000 in the month of June because I was waiting for this payout. I thought that would come this month, but it came end of May. So I'll probably make less for June than I was expecting, but that means I made more in the month of May, which is good. Then we have rollover business revenue, so money just still left in my business checking account from April that rolled into May. I was expecting at least $1,200 there, but I actually had $2,703 in my business checking account, which is also good because this is something I want to always have a decent cushion in. I'm aiming for like 3 to 4K, but right now it's just kind of been up and down while I try to grow business. So that's it as far as the income side of things with business. And now for my expenses. So first up would be payroll. What I pay myself is $2,500. I match my 401k, that is $100. Payroll taxes, those start to change as the months go on because unemployment tax falls off, so I wasn't sure on this. I budgeted $267.74. That was actually lower, which is nice, $191.25. I did take a $1,400 distribution. That's just transferring money from my business checking account to my personal checking account to spend as I need to. Business expenses, this is where I was incorrect. So I budgeted $500. I actually spent $2,403.12. So I would have been on budget here had I not hired somebody to help me systemize my business, which is something that I decided to do toward the end of May. It's been a goal of mine for the year. It was something that I was going to work on my own, but we're already 6 months into the year and I'm still kind of just struggling with systemizing things. So I decided to, she's basically a coach. She helps people to systemize the back end of their business, and it's kind of a done for you service, but I still get to have calls with her. And there's some project management incorporated in there as well, which is something that I have also wanted, just so, because I have so many things I want to work on, y'all. It's a blessing and a curse. Like, it's so overwhelming, the amount of ideas that I have, and it's so amazing to have so many ideas, but at the same time, it's just overwhelming because then I'm like, what do I work on? What's the best thing? What should I prioritize? What are the steps to do this? What's the timeline? And that's what a project manager would help with. So I'm very excited about that, but that's why it's more expensive. Insurance, I budgeted $202.33. That's correct. That covers health insurance and dental insurance. My business sinking fund, I did not budget anything there, but I did end up saving $5 there because shout out to MT Enterprise. I don't know their real name, but this was through Buy Me a Coffee. They said, Layla, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you do, your content, your cause, and the valuable information you share. I'm becoming a monthly supporter because your work deserves to be uplifted and sustained. Thank you for being such a light, which is really sweet. Thank you so much, MT Enterprise. So they became a monthly supporter on the Buy Me a Coffee platform, and it says $5 per month. So basically like one coffee per month. So thank you so much. Very cool. And any direct support that I receive at this point, I put toward my business sinking fund. So that's what this $5 is, so that I can save for my giveaways. I do the $1,000 giveaway 2 times a year, and this helps a lot. Every little bit helps. So that's all of my spending on the business side of things, and you can see how much was left over, which is really nice. I had the largest amount I've ever had in my business checking account. So that was nice to see. And yeah, obviously I invested back into my business by having this systemization whole back-end setup thing, but I think it's worth it. And it's not necessarily a bad thing it's not a bad thing to invest into your business. And I think this is something that's going to pay off for sure. So yeah, I was just very happy to have more money and just a lot more money to work with in case the summer months are slower, but I'm trying to prevent that. So typically summer months I make less money, but I want to make more money in the summer, and I have some plans to do that. Okay, so let's go to the personal side or the employee side of things. My paychecks come to $2,500 gross. My distribution was the $1,400. I did make extra income that came to $773.40. I will have a YouTube short on that coming out shortly. It will be linked down below once it is live, giving the breakdown of where everything came from. I did pull from my sinking funds. I was expecting $750, but it ended up being $1,261. You can see a sneak peek there, but I'll talk about it in more detail as I go through my spending. All right, so spending. Taxes, I budgeted $466.50, which that's just what I pay on my paychecks, and that is correct, but I ended up having to pay $209 more to state taxes. This was so confusing. I had called the Georgia State Tax Department because they kept saying I owed $209, and I'm like, no, I paid this. I sent them photos and screenshots of when I had paid this, but something that I didn't realize is I accidentally selected that I paid for the year 2017. I have no clue how that happened, but one of the quarters when I was making an estimated tax payment, I selected 2017 instead of 2024. And because of that, they refunded me. And I just didn't even notice that. I thought so I paid $209, but they refunded me like $211 and some change. I don't know if it's because they had my money for some time or what it was, but because of that, I thought it was just some other tax refund that I got. And this was basically within the same month. So I paid the $209 and then they refunded me, had no idea. So I did actually owe $209 on top of what I already paid in March. So it was just a surprise extra thing that I owed. Luckily it wasn't too much, but I am glad I figured it out. Next is my 401k. I did contribute $125. My Roth IRA, I budgeted $600 and I did contribute $600, which is good. My brokerage, nothing there. For my emergency fund, I budgeted $0, but I actually saved $25 there because I just set up auto pay through my paychecks. I just decided every paycheck I'm gonna have $25 go to my emergency fund just because I'm not gonna miss $25. I'm not gonna even notice it. I got paid, the other day and I literally did not notice it. I was still able to cover everything that I need to pay for, and I'm like, might as well do this so that I just don't even think about it and my emergency fund grows. Auto savings really is just such a good trick. And as somebody, I never set up auto savings really, or auto contributions, not even auto payments. I just prefer to do things very manually. That's just how I've always been. But it is a great trick. And obviously it's like known, very well known. But if you haven't done it, highly recommend it. Just do like $5 every paycheck even, you know? You won't even notice it, but at least your savings will be growing. So that's the plan for now. Gift sinking fund, I did not add anything there. Car maintenance, nothing there. Car insurance, I actually did not save here. So I typically add 125, but because I paid my car insurance in the month of May, I decided to just not save and I'll just pay it, you know, and then start over again next month or this month. Donate, I budgeted 0. I did not donate anything. House and utilities, $1,152 was a little bit higher. I actually paid $1,148. I think our water bill came in lower. One of the bills came in, maybe gas. I can never remember what's the final bill that comes to us, but $4 under budget there. Household, I budgeted 75. Ended up spending $80.58. Got laundry detergent. I did get an ornament out in San Francisco. And then I did buy an organizer for my closet, like some plastic acrylic organizers. And I actually have videos showing my organization coming soon on my lifestyle channel, Living Like Layla. If you're interested in that, I've been organizing certain parts of the house and decluttering, and it's really great. So a little bit over budget there, but nothing too crazy. Oh God, now we have groceries. So I budgeted $400. Groceries are bad. I don't think I've ever gone this, it's so bad. $738.67. There's a few things in here though that I purchase and they cost more money, but they'll last me some time. BOH is Bread of Heaven, I believe it is. That's where I order my sourdough bagels. So I did like 8 weeks of bagels basically. I did buy 2 bags of protein. That should last me over 2 months. I did buy sea moss, not absolutely necessary, and this could maybe be counted as like a health expense, but I got sick twice within like a month and a half. So I'm immunocompromised because of my medication. So I was like, I wanted to try something that could potentially help with my immune system despite me taking all the vitamins that I already take. So I don't know if I'll continue with that, but I did buy 2 jars of sea moss, and then I bought some powdered peanut butter. I wasn't expecting to buy that until June, but it went on sale, so I bought like 2 pounds of powdered peanut butter, and I bought 7 bags of coffee, which will last me about 5 to 6 months. So all of that on top of my other groceries. We also traveled to California, and I paid for the groceries. That wasn't too much, but that was in there as well, so food not just for me. Obviously quite a bit over budget here, but something that I'm going to be putting up next month is my spending check-in for the year, and everything's looking good for the whole year. Like if you look at my spending, what I'm expecting for the whole year and how much I've already spent, most of the categories are on track. And I'm calling this out because last month I received a comment that was like, over budget this month, over budget last month, over budget the month before, over budget next month, question mark, something like that. And like, you know, there's always going to be haters and people saying stuff, but yes, I go over budget on things every month. I say this all the time. Like, I'm human. I'm not perfect. There's sometimes where I buy things unnecessarily. There are sometimes where I didn't expect something, so I have to pay for it. And I'm going to go over budget. You know, I don't expect my clients to be perfect. So, you know, if people see that and think that it's such a bad thing, like, so be it. But this is exactly why I love creating an annual budget, because if you look at the big picture, sure, I may be going over budget in certain categories each month over month, but for the whole year, things already look fine. And then after 6 months, you can adjust if necessary, but for the most part, things look good. So just wanted to call that out. I'll be doing an update in July because that's when I always do. Food out, I budgeted $100. I stayed under budget here, spent $96.56. So $3.44 under budget. Got some Starbucks, Plant Slayer out in California. Did get some snacks and coffee at the gas station, and then gelato out in California as well. Gas for my car, I budgeted $100. I went higher here because I thought I would be paying for like charging the Tesla, but I ended up putting that under travel. So we'll talk about that. That got charged to the Tesla owner. So it wasn't like coming out of my card, and I just counted it toward travel. So for gas, I actually only spent $58.43 for my car. Health and beauty, I budgeted $200. This is another area I went over, $415.39. I got some shampoo. I paid for my prescription. I did end up having to pay a bill that was from like January or something. Yeah, I went in January, and that didn't come through until Recently, I did get my massage. I got vitamin D3, ended up buying 2 bottles of that because just to stock up. Probiotics, hair care. I got like heat protectant spray. And then I did buy my perfume because I ran out. So altogether over budget here by $215.39. Dogs, I budgeted $260. I was under budget, $234. I paid what I usually pay to my sister for our 2 dogs that we adopted together, but they live with her. One of the dogs did go to the vet to get her monthly arthritis vaccine, but it's getting cheaper, or not vaccine, just injection. And then I did buy some treats for Honey, my foster dog. Netflix is $26.98. Gym membership, $88.99 because I had to pay the annual fee on top of the monthly rate. Gifts, I budgeted $30. Oh, this one's a bummer. Budgeted $30. I spent $43.19. I spent a week at my sister's house, just myself, because I was watching the dogs. And unfortunately, I was using her French press. And if you know what a French press is, typically the glass on those is so thin that any little ding, like if it falls over or anything like that, it will break. And unfortunately, I broke hers, and I could have gotten a cheaper one, but I felt it feels rude to not buy the exact ones. She had this expensive one, in my opinion. $43.19 for a French press is so unnecessary. I get mine for like $12 because they break so easily, no matter what brand you get. So was it a gift? No, technically not, but I just counted it as that because I was just replacing what I broke. I was so upset with myself. I hate breaking things. It can be prevented, so anytime I have to pay for something that wasn't necessary, it hurts a little. Personal spending, I budgeted $100. I went over here. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, cool. I thought I did. $91.91. It was the health and beauty that I went over. So I bought some shirts. I did buy some plastic rings, like those rubber rings, silicone rings, because I want to wear them to the gym. I don't know if that's normal to do when you're engaged. Like, I don't know if people just only do it while they're married, but I wanted to have it. I just would prefer to, like, I'm not going to wear this to the gym, so I wanted some for the gym. And then I bought a hair tool, like a curling thing. Car insurance, I budgeted $750. I actually spent $772, so I was a little bit off there. As I said before, I pulled from my sinking funds, and one of those was my car insurance sinking fund. I had $651 in there. And then, like I said, I didn't add the $125 to that, so I just accounted for that in my spending. So I was able to cover the $772, which is good. Travel, I budgeted $528.68. I don't think when I filmed this May budget video that I had this on there, but before June started, I was like, oh yeah, the Airbnb, I still have to pay for that for California. So I added that in. So I did pay for that, the $528.68, but then paid for a bit more. So my fiance did pay for the Tesla in and of itself, but I was like, okay, I will pay for the charging, and plus we went over the mileage by a little bit, so I paid for that. And then we did end up booking a cruise in 2026. They had an awesome deal. I am so excited about it, and it's to Greece. So I think it's going to be perfect. I'm so excited, and I'm glad that I came across that special like promotion that was going on, because I think we got a really good rate. As of right now, I've only paid a portion of it, and it's with Virgin. So yeah, I'm very excited about that, and it's over a year away. But yeah, it's something to look forward to for sure. And that's also where I pulled from my sinking fund. So I paid $610 for the cruise so far, and that's what I pulled from my travel sinking fund is $610. And then final thing here is parking. So I could put this under travel, but while in San Francisco, I paid for some street parking. That was $15.50, which was literally for only 2 hours, and that's crazy, but it is what it is. So altogether, spent about $6,500 with everything. I know that this is negative, but I typically always have a positive balance in my personal checking account, so it doesn't mean that I like overdrafted my account or anything like that. I had enough to pay for everything, pay off all my credit cards, and I didn't even have like anything float into the month of June. Yeah, it was a good month despite going over budget in a couple of areas. Now we're on my annual tracker. We're going to be looking at my savings, my investments, as well as my net worth and credit score. So for my savings, these are in Marcus by Goldman Sachs. That's my high yield savings account. I record these balances on the last day of the month after the interest comes through. So taxes, nothing there. That's still at 0.23. These are my different sinking funds under the same Marcus account, by the way. Emergency fund, I added the 25 plus the interest, so that's at $13,921.53. My gift sinking fund is now at $918.82. Travel, I did pull from a little bit, so that's down to $4,140.99. Car maintenance, $3,454.90. Car insurance, I pulled from that, so that's now at $2.63, and I will start building it back up this month. My insurance savings, this is just money for in case I have to pay the tax credit back for my health insurance that I have, but really I just kind of have it as tax savings too. So $1,000.72 there. Business sinking fund, $1,351.71. So altogether, $24,791.53 in savings, which is a little bit of a decrease compared to last month. Then we have my investments. So these I record after the market closes. So I was able to do that, I think on March 30th or on May 30th, because that's when we hit the weekend. My Roth IRA, that is up 7.9%, $43,002.52 total. My 401k is up 8.4%, $42,286.47. My brokerage account, that is up 7.1%. It's at $10,714.32. So altogether up 8%, and I have $96,003.31 total. What's crazy is this is the highest amount I've ever had invested. I only invested, $700 something, I guess 800 or so with my 401k match. And yeah, that's a pretty big increase compared to last month. Obviously, this could go back down again depending on the market, but I still love to see this. And one of my goals for the year is to have $105,000 in investments alone. And really, I do want to invest more. So I'm going to max out my Roth IRA, 100% that's happening. I would like to put at least $10,000 to my 401k. So in order to do that, I would need to increase my income. So we'll see about that. And if I finish maxing out my Roth IRA sooner, I'll also add to my brokerage. But yeah, this is exciting. So let's go on down to the yellow section, which shows my net worth. I don't include the taxes sinking fund, even that's barely anything right now. I don't count the value of my car, just personal preference. And then I do add in how much I have in my personal and business checking account. So you can see that number here. I had about $4,900 left over at the end of the month between the two. For the month of May, my net worth was at $125,766.39, which is a pretty significant increase compared to last month. And again, really, it's the stock market, but I hit that goal. I hit the 125K. It may go down at some point, but at least I got to it finally, and I will work on the next goal. 150K is what I want for the whole year, but yeah, don't know how things will look. Here is the tracker for the year so far for my net worth, and then I have from the last couple of years, which is always fun to look at. And then the final number on here would be my credit score, my Vantage score, and that's still at 810. Final tab for me to go over would be my goal tracker. I do have this available for purchase on my Etsy shop. This is for Google Sheets specifically. So I want to max out my Roth IRA. We can do $7,000 for the year. So in May, I contributed $600. So far, I've contributed $3,300, and I still have $3,700 to go. I would like to reach a net worth of $150,000 or more. In May, my net worth increased by $7,878.21, which is really nice to see. Got to that 125K mark, and I'm a little bit more than 24,000 away from hitting that goal. So halfway through the year, we will see. Actually, a little bit less than halfway through the year. Next goal is to make $120,000 or more in business income. May, I made $9,788. So far this year, $33,198. So not too bad. And in order for me to hit this goal, I would need to make $86,802 or so for the rest of the year. Absolutely possible. So I'm not going to doubt it. It's a lot, but I think I can do it. I'm still gonna aim for that. As I was just talking about, I would like to have $105,000 or more invested. So my investment totals increased by $7,130.58, now over $96,000, and I am $8,997 or so away from that goal. $15,000 emergency fund would be nice. I'm not too stressed about it. In May, I added $79.96 with the $25 that I set up with AutoPay and then the interest that came through. So total balance $13,922, and I have $1,078 so remaining. That's not bad at all. I think I'll still be able to hit that either way. I would like to make $10,000 in extra income, another goal that I'm not too hung up on, but it's just kind of fun to work toward. So in May, I made $773.40 of extra income, and I am $7,456 away from this goal. And then last one is to spend less than $50,000, and this is excluding savings, investments, and taxes. For May, it was a bit higher. That came to $5,104. I'm still on track though, $31,515 to spend throughout the rest of the year. And I have stayed under 50K in spend for the last several years. So I don't see any, this shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. So that was the month of May for me. Very exciting stuff happening, and I feel really good about it. I'm very excited about my income, and I don't know if it's going to last or what things are going to look like this month or the rest of the year. But like I said, I will put up a short breaking down my business income and then a separate one breaking down my extra income. So if you're interested, it will probably be up in the next couple of days if you're watching this when this video goes up. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments how May was for you. But otherwise, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.